This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Burn. I thought you were going to get me diggity dang, Phil.
Oh, I forgot. Hasn't even been a full week. I'll get there.
It's fine.
Anyway, welcome.
I'll send you a reminder.
Welcome back to another episode of the Nightwing News. I am Phil. That pushy woman over there is...
I'm Kristen. Hello.
And no new issue this week, but hey, last 2 weeks got new issues, but still got some good ones this week.
We have so many old issues, we couldn't handle a new issue too.
That's right. We're covering the Nightwing Huntress miniseries. Those 4 issues from 1998 and Nightwing number 24. Also from 1998. 1998.
All go in a row.
Yes.
July, August, September.
All right, before we get to that, though, I told you I was going to show you, 2 of the 3 things I got for Father's Day are relevant to this show. First, I got a keychain.
Oh, nice. That's cute.
Yep. And I'll show you the package because the whole thing would be too big to hold up in front of the camera. A queen-size Nightwing blanket.
Nice. I have one of those too that a friend gave me. Although on Facebook, yours looked a lot bigger. Yours looks huge.
Yeah, the whole family was on the couch last night. We were kind of like under it.
Yeah, mine's like a personal version. Yours looks like you could put it on a bed.
It's queen size. It is literally queen size.
Well, see, there you go.
Yes.
Mine's a throw.
Yeah, no, they got me the queen size, which is cool. But I mean, look at this packaging. Tell me if you find it. Is there anything odd? Because that's what the blanket.
There's Batman on there.
Yeah, there's no besides the image. The bird on the blanket. There's no mention of Nightwing elsewhere. There's Batman. There's the bat symbol. Yeah, no.
Does it say Nightwing on there, or does it just have the picture?
Of course, my eye went to that. No, I don't think it says Nightwing at all. Oh wait. On the barcode, it says Batman, Nightwing, Queen.
Yeah, I have noticed on websites when I go to look for, that most of the time, if you search for Batman, all the other Batman people will come up. Like in search engines, they've got it. They're like Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, Red Hood, any of Catwoman, Joker, all of the other things come up when you type in Batman.
Batman. It's like Marsha.
Batman.
Except from that one issue, isn't Dick supposed to be Marsha?
Oh, yeah. Because, Jason's Jan and, Tim is Cindy.
Tim's Cindy. And,
I forget. It was
Damien's cousin Oliver.
I thought there was one issue.
I didn't actually ever watch the Brady Bunch.
What the F?
I think it was before my time. I don't know.
It was before my time, too, but you never saw, repeats or anything?
I saw repeats. I just chose not to watch them.
Marsha was...
I was that show looks stupid.
Marsha was, the oldest sister, and she was, the most popular, and then Jan was, always, jealous of Marsha. Cindy was...
so that fits.
Cindy was the youngest, and then, Cousin Oliver was, once the kids start getting older, Cousin Oliver is the kid they brought in later seasons,
Yeah.
So, sounds like Damien.
It does kind of work.
Mm-hmm. It does indeed.
Just the Ninja Turtles almost work with the Robins. Because, Dick is Leonardo, the older brother leader. And then Raphael, who actually was always my favorite in the cartoons. But apparently he's, much more intense in the comics. That's Jason. And then the third brother is Donatello. Who's the nerdy one, and that's Tim. But then the fourth one is Michelangelo, and Damien's really not a Michelangelo.
But I did like Raphael too in the cartoon,
Which is really too bad. That would be hilarious if Damien was like Michelangelo.
Pizza dude. Oh, and I don't think...
Father Dude came to be trained, yo.
That makes
Cowabunga.
That makes Bruce Splinter that dirty rat. But no, I don't think we mentioned last time or anything. There were solicits for an upcoming Justice League arc. I think it's part of Dark Knight's death metal, of course. But yeah, I guess it's like Dick and Lex Luthor leading a Justice League team.
Oh yeah. No wait, but that's not coming out for a couple months yet, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, Death Metal #1 just came out last Wednesday, so.
So was it part of Death Metal, or is it the Justice League tie into Death Metal? I know you sent it to me, but I forget.
It's like actual issues of Justice League, so it's the tie-in. So yeah, I don't know how closely it's going to be tied in because there's like a bunch of multiverse crap going on too. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we get Justice League right now, so I guess I'll have to look up which issues it is, so I can. Or I can always do it.
Was it like 51 or 52 or something?
Maybe. Yeah, you texted it to me.
I think it was after issue. I'll look, but I think it was after issue 50, and I think Justice League 47 is coming out this week. So yeah, you got a little bit before it comes out.
Nice.
So
go check it out.
And then,
all right.
Yeah.
We get started.
Yes.
All right. I mean, we have so many. We can't go through them like in much detail as we often do, but. So what do you want to... I'll admit that when I was going back through reading it, naturally, I was mostly focused on Dick and his relationship with Huntress and what's going on there, and less on the actual mystery, although it is a good mystery.
Well, once again, written by Devin Grayson. So, she likes to write Dick mystery stories, at least,
Sorry, what did you say about Devin Grayson? She likes what?
I guess she likes to write Dick mystery stories, at least at this point in time.
Yes, yeah.
Because she did that annual, and now
I think she also kind of likes to write sexy Dick stories.
That's right, and I mean, and again, not a super villain in sight. Just kind of like the Mob,
which are quite villainous.
You said sexy Dick.
A couple things I want to say. I really like the art in this because it's very realistic, but not too realistic. I don't know if I'm describing it right, but I like it.
Well, yeah, it's Greg Land and Bill Sienkiewicz. Yeah. Because I mean, it looks a little different with the inker, but yeah, Greg Land is very like real. Like even with different inkers, his art gets even more realistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
like it.
I mean, you kind of want to ground it in reality because it's like, again, besides Nightwing and Huntress, everyone else is just like normal cops or gangsters.
Right.
But yeah, there's a mystery. A woman gets killed in a hotel room. And then...
But I think I also like the art because it's not super busy.
Yes.
Like the pages, there's not a lot of extra stuff on the page, and that's helpful to me. So I can really focus on what I'm supposed to focus on.
Yes. But yeah, I guess this woman was supposedly a prostitute, and she was supposed to be an alibi for Frankie Black.
Yes.
And yeah, so then the cops investigate and realize she was a cop. So everyone's like, "What was she undercover?"
I noticed. Look, you were talking about. There's bats coming in behind him again.
Nice. But I love the thing. I love the thing with the flashlight because he like uses his fingers. All the guys are like, oh, "It's Batman!"
It's Batman. Good news. I'm not Batman. Bad news. I share his opinion on gun running in Gotham.
Yes, I love that panel of him. Yeah, just like...
Yeah, so witty. Also, I really like Huntress's outfit in this miniseries because I was reading a couple other Huntress ones, and I think possibly even when she shows up in Nightwing, but maybe not. But Huntress is given a lot of different costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she goes through I feel like they have her go through costume changes even faster than Dick went through some of his Nightwing suits.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, I think, are just too sexied up.
Well, yeah, like when Helena first shows up in the Batman books, post-crisis, they kind of gave her, pre-crisis Helena Wayne's costume, and yeah, there was like bare legs and stuff and like cleavage. Yeah. I mean, I think this is more realistic. Yeah,
exactly. That's why I like it. I mean, I also like the colors.
Yeah, it's darker.
Like, it's beautiful color scheme. But yeah, it's realistic. It makes sense because you would not be out fighting crime with a leotard that doesn't cover your leg. Like, the only coverage your legs get are thigh-high boots, and you have a midriff.
Yeah.
Like, no, you need to cover. Those are important parts of your body.
Yeah, she's covered. I mean, she's cut. Her whole body's covered except for parts of her head. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you probably should also, if we're being real, have like a helmet on. But our heroes don't tend to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always figure you should be covering up just for practical purposes, just for safety. You want to cover yourself up.
Oh,
but
yeah.
also, I know it's very nitpicky, but wouldn't you also want to cover up as much of your body as possible so you're not leaving, little bits of hair or something that somebody could use to DNA and find out your secret identity?
True, I guess, but I don't know. I guess they figure out no one's taking DNA, testing DNA except for Batman in town.
Right, I know. I mean, it is...
But no, you're right, yeah.
It is kind of an unnecessary worry, and it is obviously a worry that only becomes relevant in our modern day. When they were inventing all of these superheroes in the 40s, they didn't have to worry about somebody running a DNA test on Batman's hair. I mean, you also have to have something to compare it to. It's not like you would just pop it in the system and be like, oh, this is Bruce Wayne.
Well, Batman has a full cowl, though, too.
Well, right, exactly.
But yeah, no. Nightwing takes down these mafia goons and doing this gun deal in the warehouse, and then he meets up with Huntress on the roof. She wants to take down Frankie Black, but Nightwing's like, no, I'm his alibi. I know he was, on the dock.
Yes, look, that's a practical costume.
Yes.
Although maybe she should. Maybe she shouldn't do the cape. I know Batman, of course, and his crew do the capes, but as we know from Incredibles, capes are not very practical.
But I like this when they're working the murder scene, and and Huntress accuses him of saying, she's like, oh, you think there's only one way to do things, Batman's way. And he's like, no, that's not true. If it were, I wouldn't have spent so much time with the Titans.
Yeah, it's good. And then when he's like, look, we can't let our emotions get in the way. And then he kind of has this moment, he's like, wow, I sound just like him. And he has a funny little expression on his face. He's laughing at himself.
But then I guess Huntress is imagining making out with him.
Where is that?
Page 21. It's the next to last page. Well, he's talking about, he's like, yeah, well, Frankie Black goes down for this. There's still the real killer who's out there who's not going to face justice.
Right, yeah, and he says that we have to, I don't know. Do you think that's fake, or do you think they really do kiss?
Well, it's weird, because it's there's that panel there where it looks like she's going up to him and kissing him, but then the next panel, they're standing across the room from each other.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's hard to, because look, it does look like a little smoky towards the bottom, so I don't know if that's supposed to be her picturing it, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd never thought of that, but maybe. I mean, we don't have to imagine it later on, so.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, then a Lieutenant Ellison comes to Harvey and says, yeah, the dead girl's his partner, so.
Yes.
Right,
and that was the other important thing, is that you can't, even if Frankie Black has done bad things, you have to make sure that you get him for the things he's done, not just oh, he's a bad guy, so let's have him go down for this murder.
No, like Dick said, if you do that, the real killer is still out there. Right.
Plus.
No, that was last week.
You're making a mockery of justice.
No, plus, that was last week. All right, so issue 2. I love this cover.
The cover where she's punching him with her...
Yeah, they're fighting in midair.
Oh, there, I see her hand. I was like, looks like her hand's gone. Oh no, that's her little arrow thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Huntress does have some pretty sweet gadgets for, not being rich. I mean, she's a teacher. She is not rich. Well, no, wait, although... She inherited money from her parents.
Yes, her mafia family. For those of you who don't know, her origin's kind of similar to Batman, except her family was in the mafia and they were killed by the mafia, so...
Yeah, and now, they just said, she's a pretty new character, right? In 89 or 90, the Helena Bertinelli version.
Yeah,
right?
because after Crisis, because the original version was Earth 2, Batman and Catwoman's daughter, and then at this point they'd gotten rid of the multiverse, so they're like, well, this can't be,
Yeah.
Because Batman's not even with Catwoman at this point, so they invented Helena Bertinelli, yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess they can't let a property die. They couldn't be like, we don't need that person anymore. They're like, nope, gotta get somebody else.
It's a new character, we can create an interesting backstory. So you kind of see a version in Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, no, that's true. She did.
Who they should have given the character more time, but...
So they're gonna work together.
Yep. So Huntress is like, you're gonna let me work the case, and he's like, yeah, we might as well not be working at cross purposes. Plus, you're a good crime fighter, and it's you have resources and for the mafia.
Yep. It's like nobody likes to work alone, right?
And she's like, if only Batman thought like you. Batman has his own way of doing things. He's incredibly effective, so I'm not going to criticize the man. And while you're with me, neither are you. Don't you talk about my dad.
That's right. It's like, I can make fun of him, but you can't.
Exactly.
But it's true. I mean, it's good. Devin Grayson does a good job of playing on they're different, yet also more similar than they want to admit.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, yep. Then they go in to talk to Frankie's sidekick, and Huntress is letting stuff get away with her, but she's also, I don't know, they're also kind of getting up close and personal there.
But, yeah, because that's so funny when they talk about going to see the guy, because she's like, are you sure he has a sidekick? And Dick's like, you might be surprised what I know about sidekicking.
Yep. A sidekick is not all bad.
Yep. But yeah, the head boss in charge is figuring out, Frankie Black wasn't in that hotel room and was maybe pulling a double cross because he wanted out of the family.
And then we start getting into some weirdnesses. Dick's like, Huntress, maybe we should work separately after all. And then she says, is it because I'm not enough like Batman or because I'm too much like him?
Oh, yeah. And then Dick's about to swing away, and she's just like coward, and he turns and just gets in her face. No, you don't get to judge me. You don't know anything about me. You do remind me of Batman, but that's not what scares me. It's the others. Jason, Barbara, Corey. The names mean nothing to you, but I watch you dive into every case head first, and I see them. One of them's dead. One of them will never, for now. One of them will never walk again, for now. And the other found it so alien to rein in her power, she finally had to leave altogether, for now.
Yeah. Although, one thing is, I don't know, is I feel like Barbara, it's not like Barbara. I mean, it's terrible to...
Yeah,
it's not like it's Jason's fault he got killed, but but he was more reckless.
Yeah,
but it's not like Barbara got killed because she was, or got injured because she was reckless.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jason disobeyed orders. I mean, so, he was reckless.
Yeah, but you still shouldn't get killed for that.
I know, but I'm just saying, Jason disobeyed orders. Yeah, Barbara was just at home with her dad, and, the Joker just shows up at her door.
Yeah. And Corey, it kind of makes sense that...
Well, again, she's an alien.
I mean, it's one of the... and it's one of the interesting things about Corey that you both understand and kind of makes an interesting tension. That, on her planet and her culture, it's no big deal to kill your opponents in a fair fight, but that's not going to fly down here, and so it is hard.
Plus, she was kept as a slave for a couple years too. So,
right, yeah. So it's kind of that always made it interesting. Kind of thing for her was how much should you change yourself?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. So I get it, but it's also kind of weird examples. I feel like the Jason example makes sense. The other examples, I feel like he's just trying to say, I don't want to see people get hurt, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like, the main names seem to mean nothing to her, because she's even like, yeah, they paid the price. They're your martyrs, your saints, your lost loves. Well, at least she called Barbara a saint.
There you go.
Not that she knew that. But yeah, meanwhile, Frankie Black's getting sprung does he get sprung from prison here? But yeah, then Dick and Huntress are talking about Frankie wanting to get out of the mob, and
she's like, it doesn't work that way.
No, there's no way out. Yeah, after her family was killed, she's like, yeah, there's no way out of it.
Nope, there isn't getting out.
And then we see the rookie who found the dead cop. He's all nervous. I wonder why. And he goes down to the evidence.
And they're trying to mess with the evidence.
Yeah, he goes down to the evidence room, finds Huntress, and she thinks, he really wants this collar to stick. Meanwhile, Frankie Black's getting getting a jailbreak.
I said he's getting liberated, but I don't think he wants to.
Oh no.
Also, then turning, not in it, but yes. Do you have an advertisement for Jinko jeans in yours? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we had the same exact copy.
That's
Yep.
so 90s.
I love this. Yeah. So they're talking. Yeah. Huntress tells him, I found out the woman murdered wasn't a prostitute. She was an undercover cop. And he's like, good work. I wish I were more surprised. Huntress, can I ask you a question? And she corrects him. You may. I may.
I may. What are you, a teacher or something?
I have to be a teacher to stop you from talking like you were born in a circus tent. He's like, oh, or maybe you're psychic.
Yeah. Although that thing, I always thought, I get the teacher part. I don't know I get it, like, obviously it's funny, but I don't know, it was my first instinct, if someone's grammar was bad, to say, you grew up in a circus. Like, I think, I don't know what I would say. Something more, it'll be more like barn or backwoods or something than a circus.
Well, she's a high school teacher. She's not one of them fancy college professors like some of us.
Well, I actually thought she was an elementary school teacher in this version.
No, I think she might be high school, maybe.
Well, we're gonna find out in the next one.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, sometimes you're yeah, no, I mean, it is funny. It just always struck me as, I was like,
yeah.
I don't know what I would say to that, but I don't think circus would be my first instinct. I would say something like,
but yeah, he said,
I think I would say something like a hillbilly or something. Maybe that's just because of where I'm from.
But then he's like, do you want to tell me your name? I thought you could figure it out. He's like, yeah, you may be right about working together. I've been working alone for quite a while now, and it's fine. I'm good at it, but sometimes I'm just so. And she's like, lonely.
Yep.
They show them kissing on the roof.
And then they're kissing. Oh, snap.
That's the end of issue 2.
End of issue 2. Now we get to the crazy issue.
Yeah.
Not crazy, but...
Yeah. Number 3 opens up in the middle of a dream.
Well, you don't know that right away. It opens up so weird. You're like, wait, what? How did Batman suddenly get
Well, yeah,
here?
when Batman's like choking Dick going, what are you doing?
And then you're like, what in the world?
So,
Yeah, see, I think normally she is a high school teacher, but in this one, it says Daily Planner, Mrs. Bertinelli, 3rd grade.
Oh, yeah.
This one she failed.
I think there's some stories. Yeah, I don't know if they can decide. You know, sometimes it seems high school, sometimes it seems like younger. Unless she's a substitute or something. I don't know. But yeah, Dick wakes up in bed with the Huntress.
And we're like, whoa. Yeah, that always kind of weirded me out about this miniseries. I mean, it's well written and it's a good mystery. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know if I buy him just jumping in the bed with Huntress. I mean, he married a woman and he didn't sleep with her.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, again, it was a fake it was like a fake marriage, and they weren't even together that long. But it's like he married a woman, he didn't sleep with her, and he's just gonna jump in bed with Huntress. Although, like, you know, as Barbara points out, because he wakes up, goes in the kitchen, and calls Barbara. You know, she's like, I know she seems familiar, hun, which, you know, is kind of creepy because I think she said he.
Yeah, see, I think that's the thing is because then they talk about it later, and it's also like I think this is one of the stops on, in my opinion, on the journey of making Dick sexier. Like, I mean, he was always kind of. I mean, they've definitely used him as a sort of, oh, isn't he sexy? And, you know, he gets lots of shots in New Teen Titans where it's like the strategic riffs after he's fighting, you know, Brother Blood or whatever. But he wasn't very like, they were using him as sexy, but he wasn't that. They weren't that explicit about him being sexually active, except with...
Yeah, it was just with Corey, yeah.
With Corey.
Yeah.
That it was like, that was really the only one. And then I feel like in the 90s, and in the Nightwing series, they started... I mean, you've got him with Huntress, although it's in this miniseries, and then with that, like, Cheyenne Fremont, and then they try to add in more trauma. Well, then he gets raped, then they Then they added more trauma with like some creepy how he lost his virginity story to someone who was using him.
Well, the Cheyenne thing was kind of weird because it shouldn't have counted because it was, it was after that one, they jumped ahead that one year, and after the engagement fiasco and stuff. But remember, the original thing of that is it was after, what was that, Infinite Crisis? Like,
yeah, wasn't it supposed to be Jason?
Yeah, because originally, like Connor Kent, Superboy, got killed in that. Spoilers. Don't worry, he's back. But I mean, but I guess the original plan, Dan DiDio wanted to kill Dick, and people flipped out, and so so they changed. So all those 1 year later stories were supposed to be Jason in the Nightwing suit. So like even in Outsiders, like they have like Dick like mouthing off to Superman, and it's like that was supposed to be Jason.
Oh, okay, because I did see they did mention in the Outsiders, or they did mention in on his little bio on the DC Universe, they call the Outsiders, they call it the Dark Years. I mean, they did. Oh, that does make a little more sense because I think Judd Winnick writes a very, very good Jason Todd, but I don't really like Dick in the Outsiders, and I guess that, I mean, it's not completely, I mean, you can kind of, I wouldn't say it's completely out of character because you can justify that, Dick does have a temper and we all have, and like he's very hurting because Donna died and this kind of stuff, so you can like,
that one was fine, but it was like even like later on in the Outsiders, and they kind of get branded as terrorists because they did a bunch of shocking stuff, because they did like a 1 year time jump, but it's like the Outsiders get branded as terrorists. Well, that was supposed to be Jason leading them.
Okay, I was gonna say because I think when it originally, when they were originally writing it, it was before Infinite Crisis.
So
I think, isn't Infinite Crisis like 07 and
something like that?
In 03 or something.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense.
So so a lot of that 1 year later, like some of the first plot lines, Dick seems a little weird just because it was supposed to be Jason, so they just substituted Dick for Jason. Because they didn't kill him. I think I heard a funny story, because people flipped when they heard DiDio wanted to kill Dick. Because I think there was some story, like, DiDio was like a lot of places he went, like, he went to the airport and, like, he's waiting for his luggage. And the guy's like, I'm not giving you your bags until you promise you're not going to kill Nightwing.
Right, yeah. Well, I think I remember, because I actually I was in a hiatus from comics. I didn't get back in until after all of that stuff had already happened. And, like, Dick had been saved. And stuff. I probably didn't really get back into stuff until about like 2010. So that's been 10 years. Anyway, sorry. Reflecting on my own agedness. Come
on, Grandma.
Yes. She lost. See, now I'm so old. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, I read about it afterwards. Oh, that's right. I remember him saying that he didn't see what the point was of Nightwing. Because he was like, he won't be Batman and he's not Robin. Why do we need these other characters? And I think that's very interesting because, of course, then they've done the exact opposite now. Like, they keep expanding the Bat family and, like...
And it's like, even if he never became Batman, which he did, it's like, so what? If it's an interesting character, if written well, who cares if he becomes Batman or not?
Right, exactly. I just think it's funny. And I mean, to a certain extent, I suppose it's good for all of the other Robins because people being so upset about don't kill Nightwing off and then them having to kind of do stuff with him. I mean, I think that sort of paved the way for Tim to be Red Robin and then to be Drake and for them to maybe bring Jason back and give it because, they were like, oh, I guess we can do this kind of stuff.
Well, just
anyway,
look.
I suppose that's one of the... Oh, yeah. Sorry,
I was going to say, just look. Nightwing's still around. DiDio, he's gone.
Oh, I know. I wasn't sad when he left. I was like, you're in your face. Yeah, I was so happy. There's in the Infinite Crisis, I'd have to run and get in. We don't have time. But I do enjoy that one, but I think we had to cut Infinite Crisis. But in I checked it out from the library once when I was in grad school, and there was an interview with Jeff Johns, and he talked about how he was like, I decided we can't sacrifice Nightwing. Superboy was one of my favorite characters, but I was like, he's better. We can't do this. And he had something about like, he had this quote, we can't get rid of Nightwing because he's the most important person in Batman's life. And I made a copy of that page and I took it once to the comic book store and had Jeff Johns sign it.
Nice.
So I have a copy of that in my desk with Jeff Johns' signature.
You know what you need to do? You need to frame that and then like have like a picture of Nightwing too, and just have like his frame thing is like a picture of Nightwing with that.
With that, all right, I'll work on it. Anyway, yes, I feel like once a little getting into the late 90s, they made Dick even sexier. I feel like by making him have sex with more people.
Multiple partners, yeah.
Because it's but interestingly, at the same time, because there's that quote that a lot of people who don't necessarily like Dick being as sex-having, I suppose, pop up from that Action Comics Weekly from the 80s where he helps Roy find his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I don't think I could have sex with someone I didn't love. And Roy's like, well, whatever. I guess I'll just, go to hell or whatever about it. And it's weird because I think Devin Grayson's doing both in here. Like, yeah. He's having sex with Huntress. And I mean, on one line, it does, make sense. He's lonely and this kind of stuff. But then he also is like, yeah, I like you. We can have a relationship. She's like, no, dude, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean...
So it does kind of fit in a weird way.
I mean, I just don't like that. Like, yeah, he calls Barbara and she's like, I think it's at this point, she like says, I get it, honey. I know she seems like familiar, meaning I guess like Bruce, which is kind of creepy. I would have been more like, I would have had written it where, she's like, I get it. She reminds you of me back in the day. Maybe that, I think that would have been more believable if he, it would have been like, And
maybe that's what Barbara means, but it doesn't really feel like it because with the whole, I mean, that is one thing that, so I definitely read Bruce Dick fan fiction. I don't mind it. But at the same time, like, this is a little bit, it does add, I think that is the kind of most off-putting part about this story is not so much, I mean, on the one hand, yes, when I was younger, when I first read it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they have sex. But now I'm like, all right, it's 1998. This is the 21st century. Yeah. If two consenting adults want to have no strings attached sex, that's fine. Like, they didn't hurt anybody. He didn't hurt her. She didn't hurt him. Yeah. Well, maybe she hurt him a little bit, but he didn't hurt her.
Whoa!
I'm just clear about that. No, I mean later.
Oh, okay.
I meant emotionally. I didn't mean like physically. Sorry.
I thought you meant like I thought you meant like whips and stuff.
No. I meant like they weren't using.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, like that. Like, he wasn't like, yeah, baby, I'll be your boyfriend, and then be like, just kidding. I just did that to, like, he's still a good person.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Just the weirdest thing is he wakes up having a dream about Bruce, and then Barbara's like, I get it. You wanted to have sex with your dad. Like, I was like,
I just love it.
Maybe that's not what they intended, but that was kind of when I first read it. I thought, did Barbara just say, I feel like you want to have sex with your dad?
Isn't one of the psychological things, because didn't Devin say like her mom was like a psychiatrist or psychologist or something?
Well, I mean, we'll talk more about this when we get to Batman Gotham Knights.
Yes.
The saga, which I love that one so much.
And I believe she said if we can make the scheduling work, she may join us for when we talk Nightwing 93.
Yeah,
so
sweet. But this one's weirder.
Yes,
I think because it's weirder because Barbara, someone you trust, is saying that, and because Dick had the dream. The other one is just Hugo Strange being crazy saying that.
And again, I mean, with Barbara, it's like, is she like a little jealous?
Yeah, I suppose this is also one of those things where the people are not necessarily communicating. Because I remember, I think Devin said once that when she was writing the Nightwing, she was working very hard on the Dick and Barbara relationship. Mm-hmm. But then over in The Outsiders, they just like randomly had him have goodbye sex with Corey. She was like, excuse me.
If it's the issue I was thinking about, I think they were both possessed by something though too.
Oh no, that's a different time when they have sex with their possessed. This is the one where you have the spread with
Again, characters in multiple books.
Right, yeah, it's one of those things that some people are more respectful of of what's going on in the other books than other ones are. But also, I don't know. So this is something. It seems to me, so they do relationships with Bruce because he has to do the whole Playboy thing and stuff. But of the Robins, I mean, you don't so much do relationships with Robin because he's a kid. Although, I guess Tim had that girlfriend, Adrian Pacheco, for a long time. But it seems like Dick is the former Robin that gets by far and away the most romantic subplots. Mm-hmm. Is this true?
Well, I think, too, are they trying to show, like, he's grown up now, and especially since he is the oldest one?
Maybe, although part of me feels like it has to do with his fan base. I think that DC thinks that the Nightwing fan base wants more romance than some of the other ones, because I've read some stuff. They do know that more, like, Nightwing has a higher percentage of women
I would say out of all the bad,
some of the other books.
Yeah, I'd say probably out of the bad characters, Nightwing's probably got one of the highest female fan bases. Yeah,
I mean, I would assume like among the males.
Yeah,
I mean, Batgirl has an extremely high female fan base, which actually she's had several boyfriends now in 52, hasn't she? So I think it's also like, I don't know. Once they broke out of the Comics Code, they had to make up for lost time.
And it's like a, what was that show, Moonlighting too? It's like, they always have to have like that sexual tension where it's like, you can't just have the couple get together. You have to have, it's like, oh, well, he's with this one and she's with this. When are they ever going to get together?
Right. I mean, has Jason ever? Well, I mean, Jason has this whole weird thing. Doesn't he have sex with Talia al Ghul in something?
I think he may have, but I mean, he's been in the Outlaws. He's been kind of on again, off again with like this flight attendant he met.
Okay, but isn't in the Lost Years? Doesn't he have sex with Talia?
I think.
Although, is that entirely consensual, or is she? I mean, I haven't read the Lost Years.
I don't know, but it's just like he kind of went where Dad went. Ugh.
Comics do lots of.
I know, but it's just like Bruce was kind of his adopted dad, and it's like Damien's sort of like your adopted brother, and that's his mom. It's very.
Yeah, it's.
Well, that was before New 52 too, so I mean they rebooted. Right. So I don't know if that's even in continuity anymore.
Sometimes. Yeah. I think the fans care about these consistencies and stuff way more than the people writing it. Yes. When you're writing it, you need to write a good story that sells so you can make money. And then we're like, oh my God, I can't believe you made my character do that. 20 years ago, they wouldn't have done that. And they're like, yeah, well, that was 20 years ago. Get with the program. Anyway, okay. So after all of that weirdness, I would just like to point out that this cracks me up. How weird his boxer shorts are. They're like the tightest boxer shorts I've ever seen.
I mean, they kind of have. They're like boxer briefs.
And no, but they're so groovy as well.
And don't be bending your comic. Don't be bending your comic. Don't be bending it.
What?
Don't be bending your comic.
No, it's my dad. They're like super high-waisted boxer briefs. I think that's the other thing that makes me laugh when I look at it. You can't even see his belly button.
But man,
it's like Urkel boxers.
That's what I was gonna say. But just Barbara disrespected everyone. She's like, you grew up thinking Bruce was normal. I respect him as much as you do, but he's not a comfortable man. You have to see that. And then she's like, Huntress is not stable.
I know that's kind of I mean, I know that, but Huntress. I mean, that's kind of an exaggeration, right? I mean, isn't supposed to the thing to be Huntress kind of skirts the edge sort of thing, but she's not as bad as Batman acts like she is.
At this point, I think they were just trying to play it where she was like a little more violent than Batman was comfortable with. But again, is Barbara jealous?
I don't know. That's true. They are working.
And
they will be getting together soon.
Plus, she just found out 2 seconds ago Dick slept with her, so she just like, ugh.
Could be. Anyway, I like it when he goes to visit the sex workers, and they're like,
yes.
Are you Batman? And he's like, no, but I do a great impression.
No.
Like, what do you know about freaking
No, the exact quote. Not this week, no. But I do a great impression. I know. I need information. Tell me everything. And again, because the Batman stare. She's like, you are good. I would have told you anything. Hey, you should see my Flash. Want to see it again?
I know, it's funny. Like,
hey, this is Dick. It's not Batman, man. He'll flirt with the with the ladies to get
good.
information.
And then I like how and then the girl at the end's like, oh, I get it. Anyway, that was fun. That was funny.
He's gone. Wow, he was seriously cute.
I thought it was cute.
But yeah, they tell.
Yeah, when Hunter's like, I play a little rough for Batman's days. I mean, Batman's pretty rough.
Yeah. I mean, it depends, because it's like, that's when, like, during Nightfall, it's like, oh, Jean Paul's way too more violent than Batman. They tone Batman up and down as they need it. Yeah. Right.
I mean, and in some of the movies,
yeah.
The one we shouldn't speak of, he was branding people.
Or even like the the Christian Bale ones. I don't have to say it. I don't have to save you. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
It's pretty intense.
But yes, the girls tell Dick that one of them was replaced by this undercover cop, and another cop went into the hotel with her, a uniformed cop. And now Huntress is basically getting in the mobsters' faces, and then Dick calls Barbara back.
And then this is where they start adding in the keeping up with the subplot that now we have to talk about our relationship. And he's like, we have a lot to talk about. And she's like, yeah, we're not in a relationship. And he's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, all this stuff about work. He's like, oh.
Yep. But yeah, Dick's pieced together that it's this rookie cop who killed the girl, and then he tells her partner, tell him this, and he'll incriminate himself.
Yep.
So yeah, he does, but somehow the rookie gets away. Huntress is doing research at
computer stuff, that old
Hall of Records. Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Records. They should have said that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the mall boss, Malfetti, he's got a house in Greenwood, and Huntress is like, hey, when Batman leaves the city, which he has in this miniseries, does he leave you the Batmobile?
And so, on that note, we're like, oh, does he?
Oh, my. I mean, it's consistent, but yes,
what?
No. Because they take Huntress's, Lamborghini?
Answer, no.
Well, that's like even in Nightfall. Me and Lothar covered Nightfall. It's like after Bruce gets like beaten by Bane, and like, Jean Paul and Tim have to take the Batmobile. They're like, oh, it's lucky, Bruce didn't lock the Batmobile when he got home, because it's like nobody but him knows the code. I'm like, he doesn't even tell Alfred the code to the Batmobile. I'm like, it's one thing if you're parked in the street, but in the Batcave, you can't trust Alfred.
You trust Alfred. Well, and it's not that Dick doesn't know it, but he says, "You're afraid to take me to the Batcave."
And I guess they're pressed for time, but it's like he couldn't go to the cave, get the Batmobile, and pick her.
That would waste valuable time. Besides, that Lamborghini's pretty sweet.
It is, but it's like when this whole case started, why wasn't he just tooling around in the Batmobile anyway? I mean, if no one sees you get out of the car, hey, criminals still think Batman's in town if the Batmobile's cruising around town.
Dick likes his motorcycles, and he likes to.
Yeah, but we don't see him use a motorcycle in this. We just see him swinging.
I know.
In this
I don't
series.
know how he's getting around. I think he's just materializing. Just poof, there he is.
I think he just slept with Huntress, so he wouldn't have to swing all the way home.
There you go. Yeah, he was like, I'm really tired.
But yeah, we see the rookie. He's in a car with another cop. He has him at gunpoint. He's basically confessing. But yeah, he's still. Oh yeah, Dick's still calling her Huntress. He's like, "Why don't you call me Helena? We're in my car. You spent the night in my apartment." And he's like, "Habit. I don't want to get. I don't want to get in bad habits." And she's like, "What am I going to do with you?" Looks away, takes her hand off the wheel. Looks, he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yep. And then when they start crying at the start. Then when we pick them back up again, it's just like, if I told you I don't want to be alone tonight, you come home with me. Whereas if I told you I never wanted to see you again, you'd leave me alone. He's like, how's that bad? He's like, so what are you saying? He's like, I'm confused. How's that bad? He's like, you're a good man and a great friend. I understand why Batman and the Titans trust you. You're loyal to a fault, which is exactly why you'll never give me the one thing I really want. You'll never let me in. Which I guess that seems actually pretty true. He is very loyal.
Yep.
And I suppose eventually he could let Huntress in, but like not right away.
But again, it's not just his secret to protect. There's Bruce, there's Tim.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, things are coming to a head.
But yeah, then they play how he's been lonely again. And so I guess that makes, I mean, I think definitely in this she's kind of saying, kind of does emphasize that, Dick needs people and that,
yes,
maybe he wouldn't have been as likely to go home with Huntress if he hadn't been feeling alone out in Bloodhaven.
Yeah, because she said there's no us. There's just one night when you were feeling lonely and I was feeling alone. Let's call it an agreeable indiscretion. He's like, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. I don't do things on a casual. And she's like, listen, there's more happening in your life than you realize right now, Barbara. And I don't want to stand in the way
right.
of it.
That's right. Because that's right. When they were talking, she's like, oh, you guys have a thing. He's like, what? No, we don't. And then she's like, oh, that's cute.
I know. She's like, oh, you two don't even know it yet. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay, that was funny.
Yes. But she's like, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I've accomplished the most interesting things in my life alone anyway. He's like, He's like, in addition to being a crackerjack crime fighter, I bet you're a really great teacher.
It's a very sweet thing to say. And she probably is a pretty good teacher.
But yes, they get...
Although I'm not sure third graders need this kind of advice. I think this would be better served towards high school students.
True.
But yeah, that was the thing I was thinking of, is that even though they... had sex first, that's very much like in keeping with the comment from the 80s or the early 80s, early 90s, where he's like, I don't think I could have sex with someone I don't love, or whatever. That, okay, maybe he's not like, oh, I love you, Huntress. I mean, like they just got together, but he's like, I don't want to like just have to be that. Yeah. He's like, it's fine.
But they get to the house. Things are coming to a head. They're on the roof, and then Dick has to go around to the other side of the house, and he leaves her to protect Frankie Black's life. She's like, really? He's like, yes, I trust you.
Oh,
that's
a big step.
I love that thing on the roof. Yeah, he throws a wingding down, hits a guy, and then he's standing on the roof in shadows, like, do me a favor, scream. And as the big mob boss tries to run out the door, there's Dick.
Yep.
But yes, Huntress proves that he was right to trust her because, yes, she takes down the guy and no one dies.
Doesn't kill anybody.
Yep.
You just smack some heads together, which is pretty satisfying.
Everyone who needs arrested gets arrested. So, okay, I don't get this. This last scene, when he goes to see her at the end. Why the fake beard? She saw his face. She saw his whole face.
I know, but I guess that was because they were in her apartment when they did that. Oh yeah, that is one thing. I guess that you kind of go back and forth also with, is Dick famous enough for people to recognize? And I get, because then there's that spot. I guess it depends on how often he's in Gotham, because there's that one when he's Batman. Remember, there's that woman that sees him in the gym, and she's like, "Who wouldn't recognize our own Paris Hilton?" Or whatever. But right now, obviously,
huge. Yeah,
he's not that recognizable.
I mean, I guess he just doesn't want her to memorize his face, I guess.
Well, I was wondering if it's because they're in public.
Oh yeah, because there's looks like there's two.
In case if they're in public, in case she was like,
yeah,
oh, you're Nightwing.
So I guess
then it'd be like,
yeah. Well, I guess
yes,
I guess
but nobody else. But nobody else would know.
I guess those are two students walking by, because there's two girls look like they're holding books or something.
Yeah, and they're like, that's a sweet-ass car.
Yeah, like they're looking at the car.
Because, yeah, actually, the other big thing is Huntress saves Frankie's life.
Yep.
Right, like so Dick was right to trust her because she doesn't just not kill him. She makes sure he doesn't get killed.
That's why I said no one gets killed. Yeah, they get arrested.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big step.
But he brings...
And so then he's like, thank you for saving Frankie's life. She gives him flowers, and then she's like, is that it? Because I guess she's testing him like, remember, I said we didn't need to be in a relationship. He's like, yes, that's all.
She's like, good, you're learning.
Trust me. Forget the bouquet. Let me into the club. Tell me a secret.
You want to know a secret?
And he's like, you want to know a secret? Everyone but me thinks you're nuts. There's a secret. That's hardly a secret. And then, here's my question. Do you think this is true, or she just decided it later on?
I don't know.
A secret is more like, did you know that the Huntress got close to Nightwing in the hopes of breaking into the tightly guarded Bat Circle? It's true, but she ended up liking him too much to keep at him.
I don't know. I mean, unless she started out that way, but then she came to care for him.
Well, right. I mean, that's what she's saying. I guess I'm wondering, like, I guess that makes more sense to know that it's just a little, like, or is she just saying that to make herself feel better? But I think, I mean, he would have been in a relationship, and she was like, no. But yeah, that puts like a whole extra, that's why I said she didn't really hurt him, because now it puts like a whole different spin on the sex they had. Was she really feeling alone, or was she like, he's lonely, maybe if I have sex with him, I'll be able to get. So then it's like, oh, maybe she was kind of using it.
I think it was like a combination. I like to think it's a combination of both. Maybe she was lonely, but she was like, yeah, hey, he's lonely too. Here's my chance. And again, I mean, besides Batman, who won't sleep with her, at the time, he was pretty much the only age-appropriate male.
Yeah, you better not try that with Tim.
Yeah, I know. So.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's just a little bit of a downer, because now it's like, oh, so now that was just like you manipulating him? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean.
It's like, I hear Nightwing doesn't like to be played, but there was one time when he enjoyed it a lot more than usual. So I guess it's like, okay. So maybe he is saying like, okay, well, I forgive you.
Although I kind of like that too, because, I think he's maybe not at first, but he's like, yeah, I figured it out. I was fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a little column A and column B. Yeah, maybe she had that thought in her head, but I think she was kind of lonely too.
Yeah. Now I'm like, are you just saying that because you don't want to admit you were lonely?
Yeah. Because, I mean, she could have family issues too. Because, I mean, think about it. She watched her whole family get killed just like Batman.
Anyway.
Batman.
Yeah, but it's interesting then, because did this run simultaneously with the ones where he and Huntress are kind of flirting with each other, or does that come afterwards?
Wait, which one?
Because then there's ones where Huntress, isn't there ones in the Nightwing where Huntress shows up in Bloodhaven?
Yeah, but I think that's after.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think
I'm just curious, because the next, because Nightwing 24 and then 25, Tim mentioned Huntress. So, I mean, I guess it's like, what, did Barbara go around and tell everyone? Hey, Dick had sex with the female version of his dad? Like, what?
I wonder, unless she said something. well, maybe it's Tim's master detective skills too.
Because then I think, like, it's weird. It is a little weird, because in that one, I feel like they put the bow on it, and it was like, okay, we had this thing, but we're just gonna like be friends.
Yeah, it was just like a plot.
But at the same time, Huntress does kind of hint, I do like you.
Yeah.
And so I decided I should stop using you. And I think Dixon picks that up, because they're very flirty.
Yeah.
In the Dixon version, and then Dick is the one that's trying to shut it down.
I mean, I think, yeah, it was a plot device. It was just, that there's some connection, even if it's just like a physical attraction between the two.
I know. I kind of just wish that they had left it in. I feel like Dixon didn't really need to bring it.
I know. I think they just used that as like an excuse that like there was a bad character, Dick, who would give Huntress a little more leeway. Although Tim was pretty friendly,
I felt like they didn't need to bring the sexual tension into the Nightwing when Dixon's writing it, because then because he's kind of making Huntress like more, he's kind of flipping it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Devin Grayson is saying Dick is more like, I don't want to have casual sex.
Yeah.
Casual sex. I don't want to. And then Dixon is flipping it, making it like more stereotypical.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think he just did that because he wanted to keep it going.
I guess I'm just saying I wish he hadn't, because I think you didn't really need it in those versions.
Well, here, let's finish off the last issue, Nightwing 24.
Da-da-da.
From September 1998.
A one that almost got away.
A one and done. I kind of like that.
Yep. This guy, Inspector Morgan, is about to retire, and he's at the bar, Hogan's, talking about
about
the unsolved case that eats at him.
yeah, this old guy gets shot. I guess it was like was it like a mob drive-by or something? Yeah.
Well, 3 of Eddie Min's guys were shot, it says.
Always Eddie Min.
Yeah, and then that Hungarian immigrant who pops out of his house.
Remember, he was a Hungarian, so yeah, his last words were "boy with no hair" was "boy with no hair." That was 15 years ago.
And Dick's like, I'm gonna solve it for him.
Well, yeah, because he's in the cop bar, yeah, because Dick's bartending, yeah, the guy's like, yeah, I got a nice little condo and, down in St. Pete and a boat, but I should be thinking about that. But all I can think about is this old guy who, never brought his killer to justice.
So he's like, well, here's a good place to start with boys with no hair. And he goes
Well, he's working the crime
to talk
scene.
to
Yeah.
the skinheads, which is a good possibility since Eddie Min is Vietnamese.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, the guy was Hungarian, which is white, but you never know with skinheads.
Yes. I love how, Dick just starts, Dick gets in a bar fight with these guys, and it's like, if I'm wrong, it's not like it's total waste. I need to work out, and they need working over.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Can't think of better people who deserve to be beaten up.
Oh, he's like beating them with pool balls from the pool table.
And then, of course, you see this wimpy one. Well, they're all wimps. I mean, that's part of the thing. With,
Yeah, but like the run to the litter.
Yeah, with his, 100% Aryan American shirt. And he's like, oh, please don't drop me down next to this mosque in the bodega.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, why? Because you can't stand up for your beliefs because you're such a weenie. Anyway, so yes, that was gratifying to watch him beat up Nazis.
And Dick's like, all that for nothing. He didn't know what I was talking about. And it's like, even if they had done it, it's like, the kid looked pretty young. Would he necessarily have known about it?
But it's hard to tell when you don't have any hair.
I guess, but 15 years ago, yeah.
But yeah, probably that kid's too young. So he's back to asking Barbara for help.
Yep.
This makes sense. I mean, Dick does have a computer, but he doesn't use it a lot. And honestly, since it's the 90s, computers used to be so crappy compared to now.
And Barbara knows how to hack into certain...
Right, and she has better computers.
Yes.
For sure.
But she's like, hey, maybe the cop is the only one interested. How about some old-fashioned legwork? Maybe someone who knows more than he said in his statement. Things like Eddie Min.
Right, but then I guess Eddie Min's...
He's away on business again, quote
I know,
unquote.
but I guess his wife, why does she want to beat him up? I mean, I don't think they're really involved.
No, but again, I mean, Dick breaks into the
I guess
house.
it's because she doesn't want to admit that Eddie Min is away.
Oh, well, yeah, away.
Yes.
Yes, very away. But yeah, no, because Dick breaks into the house and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, I came to see your husband." She's like, "He's away." On that, more than I cannot say. Yeah, and asked her about the killing 15 years ago. I'm afraid you've shown poor manners. You break into my home to question me about crimes that have no connection to my husband. So yeah, she sticks the goons on him and he leaps out the window.
Which, I mean, I guess it feels like maybe he should have worded it better, do you know of anybody who's bald that would have had a beef with your husband? Because, I mean, it's not like he's necessarily... I mean, he didn't go there asking, hey, did your husband kill his guys? But, I mean, maybe that's the thing, is it didn't come off right.
Again, either she didn't want him asking about the husband, or it was 15 years ago. Maybe she's like, oh, maybe we were involved, but I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that could be. Anyway.
So, yeah. Then
pops out,
Dick's
checking stuff out. No shell casings.
Yeah, because he went.
He realizes he fired from a distance. So he goes back. How far could he identify the shooter?
Yeah, because there's an old guy. How far could he see? A block? A half block?
And then he's like, because he'd seen him before. And then that's when I guess he's looking down the street and he realizes, wait a minute.
The sign that
there's a mural.
Yeah.
On the side. Because as he's realizing, if the person fired from far away and this guy's old, you probably couldn't see him.
But yeah, it's this mural on the wall.
Where's this boy with no hair?
Yes, on the wall of the toy factory. There's a bunch of kids, and All of them are holding a rabbit except for one.
All of them have rabbits.
Get
or,
it?
as some say, hares.
Yes, as the Hungarian would say, hare, H-A-R-E.
Oh, boy with no hair.
So, yes.
He's sad. So then that's how Dick realizes the guy's on top of the toy factory, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, he starts, he says it takes hours of searching in this old dusty, I guess, abandoned toy warehouse, but he finds a shell casing.
Which seems slightly far-fetched because it's been 15 years, but...
I mean, if it's abandoned, maybe no one's been, if it's been undisturbed, I guess,
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I used to watch the Cold Case show, and they did ridiculous stuff like this too. Like, oh, this person was... there was one where a person was murdered in some kind of like Elks Club or something, and it was more than 15 years ago, and they went there and they picked up the grate, the heater grate, knew it, and they were like, oh, let's check this and see if it has any blood on it, and it had blood on it. I was like, are you serious?
Well, yeah, Law and Order's like that too. I mean, any of those fictional, cop things, yeah, they're always, there's a somewhat suspension of disbelief,
Yep. And then...
But so he finds the shell casing, and Barbara runs the prints, and it's a guy who's already in jail.
Yep. So then he fakes a call to
anonymous tip. Yep.
To
the cop. But yeah, because they're like having his retirement party. He runs out in the middle of his retirement party because he's like they're like, where are you going? He's like, oh, finally after all these years, I'm gonna get the one that almost got away.
Right. And then Dick finally goes to bed.
Yep.
Because he's presumably been up all night.
Yes.
Yep.
So it was a nice little one and done.
Oh yeah, that's good. I like one and dones.
I like when the Bat Family actually does detective work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another good one and done is coming up in Nightwing 25. Is that what's on tap for next week?
Next week.
What's next, Phil?
Next week, we have 2 issues. Yes, we have Nightwing 25, the issue after this, but we also have Detective Comics 725.
All right, let me bring them in.
So that'll be nice and easy for everyone to remember. Nightwing 25 and Detective 725. Yes, that's Detective 725. Yes.
Ta-da!
I love that.
Detective 725, Nightwing 25.
I love the cover on that detective, and I believe that's the issue where...
Yep. September 98, which is the same month that this one came out, 24.
Yeah.
And then, this is kind of tied in with Cataclysm. And then this is another fun one-shot.
Yep, with Dick and Tim, yep.
Yeah, right.
Take a train ride, yep. But yeah, I mean... I love
trains, although I prefer to ride them in a safer way.
Yes, not on top of them, yes. But yeah, the Detective 725, I won't spoil it till next week. But yes, Bruce utters a line that I still remember to this day.
It's so emotional. I'm going to love it.
Well, it's a lot of emotion next time because, Detective 725 is basically Bruce and Dick having a conversation, and then Nightwing 25 is basically Dick and Tim having a conversation.
That's right. So it's a lot of character development, not as much action. We actually had kind of action-packed comics.
So next week will be a lot of Kristen's favorites.
I love it.
All right. So, anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, everyone. So send us your thoughts on the issues this week, or send us for the upcoming ones. Because yes, next week Detective 725 and Nightwing 25, followed the week after by when Huntress comes to Bloodhaven from Nightwing 26 through 30, and then Birds of Prey number 8, date night, and then we get to Batman Gotham Knights 8 through 11 for episode 50.
Yeah.
What?
I said, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said, ew. I was like, what?
No, I picked that one.
I know. I would have picked that if you hadn't picked it. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
It's amazing.
Amazing. Yes, that's right. So send your thoughts on all of those. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Nightwing News on Facebook, Twitter. Follow all of our links to all of our stuff, all the social media, the YouTube channel, all of it, all in one convenient place. No, not the Huntress's apartment. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capes and lunatics. And
It's probably stored on Oracle's computer, though.
that's true. And remember to support the sponsors. Tweaked Audio. Hey, pull Dick Grayson from this episode. And Hunt-A-Killer. Get Hunt-A-Killer the game. Pretend you're Dick Grayson, because you'll never be as great as Dick Grayson. Hunt-A-Killer. And then
It'll help you pass the time
Yes.
from COVID.
And do some reading. Smarten yourself up. Buy Pod Life the book, Volume 1, to learn all about podcasting. And hey, since you're a discerning Dick Grayson fan, buy Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. It's right there on Amazon. And when you do that, use the link for Amazon for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes on YouTube, on the podcast. It's down there. Click on it. Help support this show, the network, and, of course, that lunatic Rob Master Doom Southgate.
Go back and look at my history, and you will find out I am right so much more often than I'm wrong. I get so much right. Mark my words.
All right. And so weird. Again, you never have plugs. Again, you're not like that mad woman who wrote that Dick Grayson Boy Wonder book.
Right.
Which you
My
should
only plug is make sure you make a cut of me saying diggity dank.
Oh, yes. All right. Yes. I'll write that down. But yes, go pick up Dick Grayson Boy Wonder. Whoa.
That's my plug. Everyone incorporate diggity dank into your vocabulary. If you're confused, watch last week's episode.
That's right. You should anyway, but yes. And pick up Dick Grayson Boy Wonder.
In case you missed it, it was diggity dank.
Pick up Dick Grayson Boy Wonder, written by some mad woman, not like this wallflower over here.
True.
And remember, everyone.
I'm here for Dick.
Thank you, love. And again, come back next time for Detective Comics 725 and Nightwing 25. So remember the 25s. We're over halfway done with the 80th anniversary of Dick Grayson, but got lots more goodness coming. We'll get to that outsider stuff. We'll get to more Dick as Batman. The battle for the cowl, you say?
But some of the stuff we're leaving behind. I don't think we're doing Tentacle Jason.
No. Maybe one day. All right, everyone.
Hey, it could be worse. It could have been Tentacle Dick.
Come back next time. Same wing time.
Same wing channel.